I'm interested to know about how reclaimed wood has inspired you in the past, and really specifically, what about reclaimed wood really appeals to you?
Well, I think I shared with you the story of our own home up in
Yes.
Mammoth Lakes,
Uh-huh.
which in fact we're going to for the holidays. Uh, that particular story, Betsy and I have always looked at sustainable design as a very strong part of everything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And we also find that architecture and the materials that we use in architecture all have a story that go with them.
Yeah.
And so the we utilized reclaimed, and as I think I shared with you, it was railroad ties that had been reclaimed from Thailand that
Yeah.
were milled into flooring that we use in our own house in Mammoth. Um, and it was really the first time that we did that. That house is about 15 years old.
Wow.
So we purchased the materials about a year or two before that. So we purchased those materials about 17 years ago. And at that time, the whole idea of reclaiming structures, reclaiming wood, I think was just kind of in its infancy, at least in terms of our awareness of it.
Yeah.
And the idea that we could, number one, be sustainable,
Yeah.
that we weren't going cutting down living trees. The idea that we were taking a material that had been abandoned and actually, if you will, restoring a portion of the environment where these things were laying
Yeah.
was appealing. The fact that the cost was about the same as it would be for
Yeah.
your standard flooring at the time. And I think most importantly, it just had a great story that went with it. So when
Yeah.
all of our friends and guests come over to the house and they look down at the floor and they go, wow, first of all, they go, wow, this is a really beautiful floor. And
Mm-hmm.
we go, we tell them a little bit about it, and then they look down and they see, in that particular case, the funny sort of square, dark holes that have been filled in the floor, which we intentionally left. And they go, why do you have those square, what are those? And we go, well, those are the spike holes
Yeah.
from the railroad ties. And they go, what do you mean railroad ties? And then we can tell them the story about where the material came from.
Cool.
And I know when I was talking to Mike at Fender, I mean, it's that aside from really interesting wood that has been aged and is, wonderful to work with,
Mm-hmm.
it's that story that I think is really compelling.
Yeah.
So I think that in architecture, if you're reclaiming a barn or something, there's kind of a general sense of doing something interesting. If you
Yeah.
take that up a notch, and there's a specific story that goes with that particular barn,
Yeah.
it just takes it to the next level.
Yeah. Yeah.